everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Hershee Way. Today, I have a very special guest, Miss Nataliya Smeltz, and she's going to be here talking to us about this humanitarian crisis that we have going on in Ukraine with Russia invading Ukraine. Thank you so much for joining me, Miss Nataliya.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
So can you start by telling me what organization are you with and what is your position?
So at this point, me and other Ukrainians, we are with the Ukrainian Projects. This is the nonprofit organization, and we actually working directly with the battalions, with the army. We have a few battalions. They called themselves Territorial Defense of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, which means they don't have a proper helmets, they don't have armor, so we're trying to help them. Like there is a battalion, there's 3,000 soldiers. They don't have pretty much nothing because they're volunteering, but they're fighting. So we actually, I think since last week, we raised probably close to $7,000. We sent it over there, and whatever they need, they buy over there because it takes too long if you ship it from here. So we also send them, they ask for a special pads that stop blood, which they cannot buy over there. And the good thing is that this is a direct communication. So whatever they need, we provide money, they buy whatever they need for each soldier, and they report back with pictures, videos, with the thank you, with, and that's how we work. That's how for right now, yes.
Okay.
Also we had this huge event in February, right, when all this happened. It was located in Apopka. There was Say No to War, where we collected a lot of we donated, like raised a lot of money, and everything that we made, that we raised there, everything went straight to the soldiers, straight to those who need that, who are not armed, who are not prepared for any of this. Thank you, oh my goodness, thank you, American people, thank you everybody who showed up to that event and supported. They were crying with us, they were praying with us, they were holding Ukrainian flags, and they like hugging us and say, we're with you, we're praying for you. This just was a very, very, it was nice to see how much American people support, and not only American people, the whole entire world right now is with Ukraine, and it makes us feel better because we can feel that strength, we can feel that spirit. It makes us stronger. It makes us stronger because we know the world for us.
That's so beautiful. For people that don't understand, can you explain to the best of your ability, why is this happening? Why is Russia invading Ukraine right now?
Oh my gosh. First of all, it's so hard for me to even talk about this without tears in my eyes, but I'm going to put myself together and I'm going to do it. This war is genocide.
Yes.
This war is murder. This war is crime. There is no reason for innocent children and babies and women to die. There's no reason for any of this. 2,000 people are dead. That's from what we know so far. 114 children from what we know are dead so far. 3 million refugees crossed the border. There is no absolutely reason for people leaving their houses, leaving their families, leaving their husbands. Ever since I think 2014, yes, 2014, Putin is trying to get Ukraine back.
Right.
He doesn't want us in NATO because he doesn't want us to see happy. He doesn't want Ukraine to grow and be successful and
And can speak more about that. Like, what is it about NATO that Putin is trying so desperately to get Ukraine to stay away from
Um, I'm
and
not a
not join?
politician. I'm not a politician, but from what people's understanding, it's because Ukraine is gonna be more protected, is gonna be more powerful. Ukraine is gonna have better life. Ever since 2014, that's why that president we got rid of pretty much, because we wanted to be a part of Europe. We wanted to be in Europe. We wanted better life for our children, because we think we are European country. And the thought of this, is just something that the Russians don't want. They want us back to Russia.
So they want it to be more Russian dominated country.
That's how they say. We are older brothers, and you should belong to us. That's what they say. That's what they think. That's what the mind like thinks. But here is the thing about getting back to Russia. Non-Ukrainian want to do it. As a child, I was growing up in Soviet Union, so this is what there was like 2-3 hour wait to get a gallon of milk, 2 hour wait to get a bread. When I was a child, I was not allowed to go to church, because if Russians knew I was going to go to church, they would put my parents and grandparents in jail. So I remember as a child, my grandmother, my mother's mom, she would bring me to church every single Sunday, and her friends would surround me, so nobody saw I was there. They hid me, because if Russians knew I was at church, my parents would go to jail. And another thing is, I remember I was little, and I was walking with my grandpa in the middle of the town before Christmas, and all of a sudden I started singing Silent Night carol, as loud as I could. And my grandpa says, honey, sweetie, please don't sing that loud. If they hear you singing, grandpa can go to jail. So there is no reason for Ukraine to get back to this misery. We want our bright future for our kids, for us, for the families. So this is my own opinion on and something, Ukrainian, just like Americans, we just want our democracy. We want to be free. We want to have our traditions, our language, our freedom of speech, of actions. We don't want to go back to Russia. And they say there are Nazis. There's the Ukrainians and Nazis. They're killing people. There is no Nazis. There is no Nazis. We just want to be free. We don't want to belong to Russia anymore. That's all.
Okay. So over 3 million people have fled Ukraine.
That's from my mom told me just today. I asked her, I was like, can you please give me numbers, because there was 2 million now. It's growing and growing. There is, yes.
And so a lot of them are fleeing neighboring countries. But a lot of people were waiting in lines for hours and days. Can you explain for people that don't understand, why does that process take so long at the border for them to be able to get to those neighboring countries to safety?
I actually, one of my best friends, we went to school with, she just crossed the border with her 2 girls. She's in Warsaw right now. And I contacted her yesterday, and I asked her, like, how long did it take? What's going on over there? Because I did not know if she made it or not. And she said, it took us probably at least the most 30 minutes to cross the border. And she said, that's another thing she said, I would never expect the Polish people who are or complete strangers to treat us like they treat us extremely nicely.
Mhm.
We feel like we protected. They put our kids to school, they buy us food, clothes. She said, I cannot believe what I'm seeing. I'm seeing the miracles.
Mhm.
And that just like made me feel so bad. I mean, so good. I'm sorry. I'm just like, and I look at these Polish people who have so many Ukrainians coming in, and they just becoming brothers and sisters.
Mhm. Now, I actually have heard a few of complaints about the Poland border and just how some Africans or other people of color, they feel like they've experienced mistreatment or racism, or have been told to be pushed back, and it's been a bit more difficult for them to cross the border. Do you want to say anything about that?
I never heard anything about this, but at this point, this is the war. Everybody has to unite. Everybody has to help each other. There is no way I would imagine they would do it to people, kind of push back, and because we all people, we all want to live, we all want to to get out of the war zone. And I honestly don't see it. I don't see it that way. I'm not. That's if that happens, I think it's wrong. But knowing Ukrainians, how they loving and they're going through a lot right now. I honestly don't see this happening.
Okay.
I honestly, at least I never heard anything about this.
There have been a few reports. So I don't know how they're handling that. I know they also have denied those reports as well. But do you feel like, I know you thanked some Americans earlier, for coming out and being supportive. Do you think that other countries are doing enough to help Ukraine?
Everybody's helping Ukraine right now. The sanctions, the huge amount of military supplies, the countries are sending help in any way they can, especially Poland right now. Poland is amazing. Thank you to Poland, because they're getting everybody through. I know a lot of the people that I know, they went to different countries, England, Germany, and thank you so much to all the countries that accepting refugees, for saving our lives. And thank you to Poland, especially thank you to Poland, because that's the only way to get out.
Mm-hmm.
I think, all the countries are doing the best they can. But there is one thing that Ukrainians all over the world are asking for. It's no-fly zone. No-fly zone. That's what Ukrainian President Zelensky is asking for. That's what we all pray for, no-fly zone. And I can tell you why, because Ukrainian troops, Ukrainian army is very strong on the ground. They're much stronger comparing to 2000 that people of Ukraine. Russians over 14,000 are that. So as soon as Russian troops entering borders, our army is so strong, they almost every time they destroy them, because we have better weapons. Thank you to United States and the whole world. Thank you so much. God bless you guys. Thank you to you guys. We have best weapons. We have military supply, the best, and that's how we are able to prevent some of the attacks.
Mm-hmm.
So because of Putin and Russian army are not able to take, like they said they're gonna take Kiev, which is the capital of Ukraine, in 24 hours, and they're gonna take over Ukraine in 24 hours. And we're looking at almost a month of the fighting. So that is why they all get frustrated and mad. That's why they fire missiles. But those missiles, they shooting in maternity hospitals, churches where people hiding, and what really got Ukrainian army upset and mad and angry, when there was a big sign outside of the building that says children, and they straight firing on it. They're firing. It's not a war where an army fights an army. This is where the enemy shoots and kills innocent children and women and babies. And this is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. And you know, I feel like not just me, but I feel like the whole world, and they just watching. And I know it's hard for them to close the sky because it's a direct, you know, it probably will not happen, but we are praying for it, because that's the only way to stop them destroying, you know, my country and my people.
Okay. Like you said, we are a month into this thing. What would you, not that you know directly, but what do you think it's going to take for Putin to stop and call this off?
He's not gonna. I'll tell you something. Ukrainian people are not gonna give a single tiny piece of Ukraine to Russia. They're so strong in spirit. This is our land. This is our home. We're born and raised. This is where children are gonna grow up, you know. And Ukrainians, this is our position right now. We'd rather die than give it to Russia. Soldiers are so strong in spirit. They're so strong because, to be honest, and everybody knows this, the truth is on our Ukrainian side. The God is on Ukrainian side. Everybody knows what's going on. And from what I've heard, you know, from soldiers, like there's many actually many interviews on not interviews, as self videos on the YouTube, where soldier says, we're not gonna communicate with terrorists. We're not gonna give up a single part of Ukraine. We are not gonna sit down and talk. We're gonna fight for our land because this is our home. This is not their home.
Okay. I do want to thank you so much for talking to me and for helping us all understand this better. Before you go, I do want you to tell me, how can we all help on a local level? What do you need people to do, or what would you like to ask people to do to help?
I'll tell you a story. I met this sweet woman, I think 3-4 days ago, at a grocery store, and we start talking. And she's like, where are you from? You got an accent? And I said, I'm Ukrainian. And she starts hugging me and kissing me and say, I'm so sorry, the American people with you. You know, the whole world is with you. How can I help? And I said, well, I don't know. I said, at this point, you know, I'm working with this organization. We're helping Ukrainian soldiers. And she opens up her wallet. She takes the last $50 she has, and she says, can you please send this to Ukrainian army? Can you please? And I said, ma'am, I sure will, because this might save somebody's life. This might save somebody's, you know, hunger or, so at this point, I think the only way to help Ukraine is donation, because At first we started sending shipping stuff over there, like armor and food and supplies. But it takes so long, so it's easier just to donate. And there's so many ways to donate. And I told you about this one particular way, and I have a phone number, direct phone number, and there's a website. They can donate, and it goes straight to the people who need this. And there's so many ways that people can donate right now. Is about helping, sending medical supplies. Sending medical supplies is very important.
Okay.
And just pray for us. Just pray for the whole entire world, because Ukraine is not a target. Ukraine is not a target. It's much larger than Ukraine. So if we don't stop it now, it might, turn into something really, really bad.
Obviously we don't foresee an end to this. Do you believe that when it's over, the people who have fled Ukraine will want to go back?
I'm 100% positive that every single Ukrainian is gonna come back. They're gonna rebuild churches. They're gonna rebuild homes, because that's where it belongs. They didn't want to come. They didn't want to leave. They didn't want to leave. They left everything. They left her homes, husbands. They left everything. They will rebuild the country. They will rebuild churches. They will rebuild their homes. And one of the soldiers, the other day I watched on YouTube, she said, after all this over and everybody's gonna come back and rebuild this country, it's gonna be even more beautiful, more stronger in spirit, more united, and more, just gonna be more beautiful. And I know for sure that many countries are gonna help with rebuilding Ukraine. Many countries. I already hearing conversations around here, that say, we want to invest in Ukraine. We're gonna help rebuild the cities and churches and hospitals and schools, because Ukraine has a huge history, and they destroying by firing at the buildings. They're destroying our history. But I'm hearing conversation about people who want to help to rebuild those buildings. They've been there for years. So that makes me, feel a little bit better, because of the whole world is trying just to help us.
Well, thank you so much, Nataliya, for speaking to me. Is there anything else that you could add of how we can find your website or social media or anything, so that way people can get their donations to you?
Yes, actually, so the name of the organization, nonprofit organization we've been working with, that is called Ukrainian Project, and the website is ukrainefestivalorlando.org, but the capitals are UFO. The phone number is 321-300-4065. When you go on the website, you will see all the information. You will see the little thing that you can donate money for Ukrainian soldiers, and I promise you it's gonna go in the right hands, to the people that actually really need it. Meanwhile, I'm helping. Everybody's helping. The whole world is helping, and thank you so much. Thank you everyone for for doing this for us. It makes us stronger. It makes us feel more protected, and that means a lot.